We are live. We are live. Welcome to another episode of Beast Talk, where we keep it 100. I'm Maurice Speast, aka Speast the Beast, and tonight we got my man Jay Ice with us. What's good, Ice?
What's up?
What it do? What it do? For those of you watching, at any moment, post a comment in the comment section. We will address your comments. We will post it on the screen. We'll get down to the bottom of whatever it is you're talking about. If at any moment you like what you're hearing, go ahead and hit that like button. Also, remember to share this with your family and friends because we do not want to be successful by ourselves. Remember, this is not an echo chamber. We may not agree with each other. You guys may not agree with us. But whatever you got to say, whatever's on your mind, go ahead and bring it to the forefront and we will address it. We are here to bridge the gap. We are here to have a conversation. We appreciate you all for dropping in. And remember, if you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe. If you're watching this on Facebook, go ahead and follow. And remember to share this with your family and friends. Without further ado, let's get into this. All right, Ice, let's go ahead and dive into the first topic. The way this is going to go, I'm going to start off with an icebreaker. We might have 2 or 3 icebreakers. Then we're going to jump into the main topic. At any moment, if you're watching this, you can drop a comment in the comment section. We will address your comments. Let's just have a conversation. All right, Ice, let me ask you this. Let's touch on this co-parenting thing. When it comes to co-parenting, would you be willing to co-parent or raise your children from another state, right? Would you be willing to co-parent while your kids are in one state, you live in another state? What are your thoughts on
Um, Me personally, I'm not. That's why me and my mother and my kids, we live in the same state. I could have moved back to North Carolina, or I could have moved wherever I wanted to. But
Right.
to me, it adds extra expenses like having to travel, even if it's just during the summer or whatever.
Right.
But to each his own. Some people, I've seen it work where people live out of state, and the father's still involved and see their kids.
Right.
I think, me personally, I think it's good for y'all to be in a similar location. That way, if an emergency or anything comes up, you can be there when you need to be, and not have to hurry up and schedule a flight, hurry up and take time off work. It's just easier when it's closer. But I know that in my separation papers, like for the mother of the child, or if I had the kids, like either one of us can't just pick up and move out of state with the kids without going in front of a judge first. Like we had to get kind of like permission from the judge to move out of state with the kids. And that's for a reason. Because a lot of times the mother or father, they do take the kids and move out of state with just the sole intention of just getting away from the other person. And a judge ain't gonna let you do that. If you got a good reason to move out of state with the kids, then that's different. But it really just depends on the person and the situation.
Okay. Okay. Does the age have anything to do with it? The age of the children? Does that have anything to do with it?
Yeah, no. I mean, it could be helpful if the kids are older and they can travel by themselves.
Right.
Because that happens a lot too. The mother or the father put the kids on, like take the kids to the airport, and then the kids will hop on the plane by themselves.
Okay.
So that helps. It's harder when the kids are younger because you got graduations, you got sports. Like it might be an issue at school that needs to be addressed or whatever. So, but as they get older, they get more independent. It's a little bit easier to be separated. You know what I'm saying? So,
Okay, that makes sense.
yeah,
Yeah, as far as me, I don't think I could do it, especially when my kids are young.
yeah, I
Um,
could.
in case of an emergency, I always want to be, nearby.
Right,
So for that reason right there, I don't think I could co-parent from another state. The only way I can do anything remotely close to that was if I'm on one side of the state line and they're on another side of the state line. So we within an hour or two of each other, but we would have to be close to whereas if there's an emergency, I can get to them with no problem. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Outside of that, I couldn't see myself co-parenting from another state. Another thing, let's just say the mom decides that she's gonna relocate or try to move to another state. I would probably pitch a fit. You know what I mean? I
yeah,
would have a huge problem with that because that would make it a lot harder for me to get to my kids. Not only in case of an emergency, but just in general.
right,
They're gonna miss me. I'm gonna miss them. They need that father figure in their life. Mother brings one component to the table. The father brings another component to the table. So it's very important, for those parents to have access to those children at all times. And if you're in different states, that makes it a lot harder to make that happen. So with that being said, I don't think I could do that. You know what I'm saying?
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
So it is what it is. It is what it
yeah.
is.
I often like in my head, I kind of question fathers that are okay with their kids being far away.
Yeah.
Like and they're okay with seeing their kids like, you know, once a year or twice a year. Like
Right.
I understand when you young, you wasn't married, y'all were just young. You maybe made a mistake and she went off to college and you went off to
Mm-hmm.
college and y'all just got separated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if you a grown man, especially if you was married to that woman, like I just don't understand your mentality. Like just knowing that your kids are on the other side of the country and you just see them once a year and you
Right.
okay with that. That
Mm-hmm.
just that don't sit right with me. So
Right. Yeah. I'm with you 100% on that one. You know, you definitely got to question those guys who,
Smoke weed every day.
cool with that.
yeah,
That's crazy. You know what I mean? Nah, I gotta
yeah.
see my kids.
There's a lot out there. There's
Yeah.
a lot of guys out there that are okay with that.
Yeah.
It's
I
just
don't,
that doesn't make sense.
I don't know how they do it. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. But I feel like we on the same page with that one, man. Nah, we
Yeah,
ain't doing no care parent from different states. Not if we can help it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But with that being said, let's go ahead and segue. Let's segue to the next one. The question is this: should parents be okay or accept the decisions of their adult children? Right? Should
Right.
parents accept the decisions of their adult children? Let me go ahead and break down a situation so I can add a little bit more context to this. So recently, you got Lil Boosie. He's got a daughter. His daughter has decided to live a, let's just say, gay lifestyle. She's a part of the LGBTQ community. And basically, Boosie has spoken out against this, right? He's about traditional values and all of that when it comes to, men and women. And
Yeah.
he told his oldest daughter, or his older daughter, that she could not bring that inside the house around the other children, right? He said, "Hey, you keep that over there, but don't bring that. I don't want that rubbing off on them. We don't believe in that. We don't live that way. That's not how I raised y'all. So I don't want you bringing that around the younger children." And she did a video speaking out about how she had an issue with him kind of coming out like that. and that she knew things about him that if she exposed, you know, to other people, they wouldn't look at him the same, right? So blah 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 blah. So in other words, but he doesn't accept that. And then there's other things like that. So you can have a child joining the LGBTQ community. You can have a child dating outside their race. I mean, there are so many things that young adults decide to do. And those things go outside of what they were raised to do or how to be, go outside the realm of their parents' values. What are your thoughts on that? Should a parent accept the decisions that their adult children make?
We might disagree a little bit on this one.
Okay. Yeah. That's fine.
You don't have to accept it, no.
Yeah.
But when it comes to when your kids get to be in their late teens, young adults, I would recommend you as a parent be very careful about judging them and saying things because like Boozie's daughter says, she knows some stuff about him that don't
Right.
nobody else know. So, you know, as a parent, we're like, yeah, we're gonna always be upfront and honest with you. We're gonna tell you like it is, you know, now that you're a young man, I'm gonna give it to you real.
Right.
Yeah. A lot of times they'll give it back to you real. And you might not want to hear what they got to say. So
Oh man.
yeah,
Yeah.
because they, you know, kids see the truth when they get older. Kids, they see what's really going on or what really happened.
Okay.
But I think as like in Bluesy's situation, I would express my displeasure or my opinion, but I wouldn't have did it in public for one.
Okay.
He did it in public. And then I think he used the word disgusting or something like that. That
Uh-huh.
was probably the wrong word to use. But
Okay.
yeah, I think as a parent, like even though your kids are grown, you still should let them know your opinion.
Uh-huh.
Now, I wouldn't go as far as to say like, nah, you ain't welcome here no more.
Okay.
Because my thing is, you could say that as a parent, but 99.9% of the time, you're gonna end up taking that back.
Okay.
You tell your kid not you ain't welcome here no more. You give it a little time to pass. You're gonna end up taking that statement back.
Okay.
So, and then too, another thing, I've seen situations where kids that grew up in real strict households,
Yeah.
those are the most fucked up adults like you will ever meet in your life is an adult that grew up in a really strict household as a child.
Okay.
Because what you're doing is you just delaying the inedible. You know what I'm saying? You delaying it. Like they eventually gonna get out in the world and experience all the stuff that you don't want them to experience anyways.
Okay. I got you.
I'm not saying like I'm not. I don't take it as far as you as a parent should be okay with them snorting cocaine at the house.
Right. Right.
You
Right.
know,
Right.
saying like, oh well, he gonna do it anyway. He might as well do it here. He gonna do it anyways.
Right.
I don't take it that far, um, but you gotta let them live and learn.
Right.
You know, you gotta let them fail. If they choose to live a certain way as young adults, all you can do is tell them like, hey, I would think about this before you do it. Like, I don't agree with what you're doing, and just let them live and learn. That's all you can do at that point.
Yeah. I feel you,
So,
man. I feel you.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Good
my
stuff.
take
Good
on that.
stuff.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Yeah, me, man, I'm real strict on how I raise my kids. And if they became young adults and kind of went against the things that I was teaching them or how it was raised, I would definitely have a problem with it. Um, it's one of those hypotheticals that's kind of tough to say what you'll do because you ain't in that situation yet.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
um, I will say, as far as Lil Boosie, him telling his daughter to keep that away from the house, because you got the younger children there. I don't knock him. Um, I'm cool with him standing on business and kind of saying, "Look, don't bring that around. That's not gonna rub off on the rest of them. I need you to know
You
that
think
there's a
you
right
think
way
he
and there's
should
a
have
wrong way." Go
you
ahead.
think he should have did it in public though?
Well, he was asked in public, and also the relationship is public. You see what I'm saying? Like if it was a private
Yeah.
relationship, you see what I'm saying? Like if it was a private relationship, then now I ain't gonna bring it in public. But now, so you've made it public by posting pictures all over social media. People know who you are. They know you're my daughter. You know what I'm saying? So since you made it public, now I gotta address it publicly. You see how that kind of go.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean that's
you know,
but I don't think his daughter seen it that way though. That's the
uh-huh.
problem. She
Right,
she didn't she didn't see it that way. So that's why her feelings got hurt. You know what I'm saying?
right. Well, that's on her if she ain't see it that way. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, I
Yeah.
get it. That could be true. But again,
Yeah.
if you're doing something publicly, I'm gonna have to address it publicly because I'm gonna get. He got asked. He was on the stage on the show, and they said, what do you think about your daughter? Let's just say being a part of LGBTQ. We heard your comments recently. How do you feel about that? You told her not to bring that around the other kids. So, he just stood on business like, nah, yeah, we don't stand for that. You're gonna be gay, you're gonna be this, you're gonna be that. You can't bring that around these other kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So again, I don't knock them for that, but everything you said was true about some kids who do grow up in strict households, and then when they get out, they get wild and they start doing
Right.
all kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that's true. There's a lot of truth in that. But I do think that as men and as fathers, we have to do a better job of standing on business and raising these kids the right way, let's just say. And I think the problem in America is a lot of men have been emasculated and shamed for being those strong men. But think about it. Back in the day, those men were strict and firm. Like they were just the same way he is, like that traditional nod. You ain't none of this happening, ain't that happening, blah, blah, blah. It was blunt. And it was
Right.
it was people were used to men acting in that manner. It wasn't like far-fetched to see a man kind of come out the gate like that, like, nah, this is what's going on. This is how we're gonna do in this household. This is how I raised y'all. That was the norm back in the day. But now people have gotten weaker, softer, so on and so forth. And now, it's harder for, a lot of people to, deal with that. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not Boosie for coming at his daughter like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, in my eyes, he's just standing on business, and it is what it is. You know. But
Right.
we got to get back to traditional values.
It's crazy because I hear what you said, but he basically came out and apologized after the fact.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like when you're dealing with young adults or even teenagers, you gotta, as a parent, you gotta think before you speak
Right.
because I mean I admit I've done it with my own kids. Like I said things and then later after I calmed down and thought about it, I was like, man, I probably shouldn't have said that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you gotta stop and think, you know, and you gotta remember too, you was in their shoes at one time. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta put
Yeah.
yourself in their shoes.
But you
But
still want
I
to
ain't
be better, right? You want
yeah,
them to
but
be
I
better
ain't
than you.
yeah, I'm not saying you shouldn't discipline them and speak your mind and
Right.
say your piece, but you just got to be tactful when they grown about how you go about doing it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. I understand that, man. But yeah, I just don't hold no punches, man. Like I ain't never. Anytime I've kind of came down harshly on my kids, I double down. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, I said that.
You got yeah.
You know, and
If
I,
you
and
want
I
if you want the results, you got to double down most of the
yeah,
time. Yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
yeah. I've doubled down, man. I'm like, nah, like I said this, I meant that. But I always like before I react, I'm usually always thinking about it. Like
Yeah,
before
you
I
got to
let
think
it
of
out, before I lay it on. You know what I'm saying?
right.
I'm always thinking about it.
So
Shout out,
I feel like maybe he didn't think. That's the problem.
right?
He was just
Yeah.
answering the
Oh,
question.
okay.
Like
I
he
see.
just answered the question. He didn't think about how he was responding. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Shout out to Demetrius. What's up, big dog? Appreciate you for tapping in. Demetrius comes in saying, I've had to check myself for some of the statements I have made as well. Yeah, man, it's good to sometimes you look back and you say, "Dang, did that come out the way I wanted to come out? Did I so that can happen, you know what I'm saying? But I'm pretty level-headed, even keel, stoic, all those things come to mind. I'm pretty calm,
Yeah.
spiritually grounded in a way. I ain't gonna say nothing too wild anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm already filtered to a degree. If you want to look at that, you can look at it as filter. You can some will look at it as no filter. You know what I'm saying? But I'm grounded well, so I typically ain't gonna say nothing too crazy that I'm gonna have to draw back on. You know what I mean? But okay, feel like we got good on that one. We ain't gonna kill it. We ain't gonna kill it. Let's go ahead. Segue. Shift gears here. Let me ask you this, Ice. Do women think it's okay to have a baby by Mr. Wrong and then go out and seek marriage from Mr. Right? Do women think it's okay to go out here and have a baby or babies by Mr. Wrong and then go out and seek a marriage from Mr. Right?
I think most women aren't stupid. Like most women realize they made a mistake,
Uh-huh.
but with the environment we live in nowadays, they still expect or feel like they deserve Mr. Right.
Okay.
And they don't want to talk about the mistake. You know what I'm saying? They're like, well, we ain't gonna talk about that. I still deserve Mr. Right. Um,
Right.
and ain't nothing wrong with having a kid out of wedlock if it was a mistake. That happens a lot when you're younger. But you just gotta realize as a woman you put in yourself and your potential mate in kind of a I don't careful how I say this. I don't want to say awkward position, but it's kind of like men want somebody that they can build a family with,
Right.
and if you already got a family, if you already got 3 or 4 kids,
Right.
what I'm gonna do? They ain't building no family. I mean, I can't take care of 3 or 4 kids. I mean, that's what people, that's what a lot of women don't realize too is because women are always taken care of in a way. Um, but a lot of women don't realize is most men cannot take care of 3 or 4 kids in today's
Right.
environment. It makes it really hard. Like you struggle just to pay your own bills and help one other person out. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
So
So you saying the women oh you saying men want, to start their own family. But these
yeah,
women, yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. I'm gonna ask this question: if you marry a female that's got kids already, say she got 2 kids, and then y'all get married and have a kid together,
Okay.
do you really love her other kids like you love that one that y'all had together? Is it really the same? I mean, let's take a time out and be real for a second. Is it really the same?
Nah, you're gonna love your kids more than you're gonna love, you know, her other kids. Let's just say, or kids that aren't yours. You're gonna love your
Right.
blood more, even though
Right.
even though you accept the other kids. More than likely, you're gonna love yours more, of course. Not 10 times out of 10. 10 times out of
Right.
10.
I mean, most people would tell you, "Oh yeah, I love all the kids." Come on, bro, stop lying. But I
Right.
mean, you probably do love them, but you don't love them like your own.
Right.
But um, so you got that, and then on top of that, if a woman's already had 2 or 3 kids by another man, hopefully it's just one man, one other man.
Right. Right. Right.
But and then you got that element at play. So you don't know the father of her other kids. Maybe you know him, maybe you don't.
Right.
Hopefully he a decent, understanding guy,
Right.
but you don't know that. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
So
Right.
it just adds a lot of complication to the picture.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree. So let me ask you this. I heard that when a woman, they say her first baby daddy is usually like the mistake baby daddy or the test dummy. They say most women's first baby daddy is the big mistake, and then then they go try to find this other guy. Is that true as far as the women you know? Is that first baby daddy always the mistake or the test dummy or whatever you want to call it?
Here's the thing: a lot of women would say it was a mistake,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe it was, but also at the same time, can you really sit down and honestly say it was a mistake? You knew what you was doing when you opened them legs. You knew
Another
what you
one.
was doing.
Right, right, right.
So, so I don't think that's necessarily true. I don't know that it was a mistake. They might feel like it was a mistake,
Okay,
and it might have really been like maybe the condom broke or whatever. But
okay,
I think a lot of times, nah, it wasn't no mistake. You knew what you was doing,
okay,
and see a lot of them, they didn't realize it was the first time they had a child, so they didn't realize what all that entailed exactly.
okay.
Like, yeah, you've seen your brothers and sisters, you've seen your aunts or uncles with kids. You kind of have an idea. Maybe you babysitted your nephew a couple times,
Right,
but it's different when it's yours and it's all on you and on your lap. It's
right,
different. So
right.
I can't say that all the first ones were a mistake. No, I don't think so. I think a lot of times it wasn't no mistake at all.
Was he the crash dummy?
Um, as far as like, how would you say he was a crash dummy?
Crash dummy meaning this ain't nobody she about to marry. You know what I'm saying? Like this ain't nobody she about to marry.
Probably, probably. I mean, in a lot of cases, yeah, but I don't know about. I can't say every case,
Yeah, nah,
but
yeah, nothing's absolute. But I'm
yeah,
just saying in a lot
a
of
lot of
cases, you know about
cases, yeah, probably so.
yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of young women don't really know what they want.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? They don't really know. They got an idea and a picture of marriage in their head, but they don't really know what that looks like and when it's gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? I think
right.
most young women are that way.
I, Yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah, I agree with you. Hold on, let me address a couple of chats. Demetrius comes in saying it wouldn't ever be the precise the same. And I think he's talking about with the kids not being yours. He's saying it would never be the same. But if they don't have that actual father in their life, then all you can do is love them as best you possibly can. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Stepdads are superheroes. I've said that before. Stepdads are superheroes. They come, they save the day, and it's needed in the society because a lot of the biological fathers get MIA, and these kids, these young adults, they still got to be raised. You know what I'm saying? Somebody got to step in if you want to have a good society. Somebody has to step in and raise them properly. So it is what it is. It is what it is.
One quick thing. Oh, sorry. One quick thing on that too. One quick thing on that. I've seen a lot of divorced men get a girlfriend, and I've seen a lot of girlfriends and women step up to the table and be like a second mother to his kids.
Okay. Right.
I think men, if you're a stepfather, you should do that too. Even if the real father is in the picture. I'm tired of seeing the girlfriends and the new wives step up, and like I've seen girlfriends step up and take the kids to school. Like,
right. Yeah, that's big.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, men got to step up, bro. If you're a stepfather, step up. It's only so much you can do as a stepfather. It is only so much you can do, but don't just be that guy sitting at home on the couch drinking a beer, fucking the the woman, and not even paying no attention to the kids. Don't do that.
Right.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I'm with you. And it also depends on the situation.
Yeah.
What I would say is if someone does bond with a mom, you know what I'm saying? She needs to be A1 as far as in that role, in that wife role. I think with you taking that on as a man, her character, her duties, she need to be on point with all that. If you're gonna step in and help her take care of those responsibilities, of raising a child or raising children that aren't yours, I think she has to be A1. And what happens a lot of times is she's not. So because she's not, he's gonna half butt when it comes to doing certain things for those kids or around the house or just in general.
Right.
He may not feel appreciated, and it's gonna show. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of different components to that. I don't believe in men being suckers, so I'm not gonna just tell them to jump in there and just do it all. No. If you bond with a mother, she need to be on point in that wifely role. Like I say, with her duties, with her attitude, with her following your lead, the whole shebang. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, I don't think it's worth it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping 100. I don't think it's worth it. So men, if you bond with a mother, make sure she on point and come to that wife role. Otherwise, you wasting your time, you wasting your money, you wasting your energy. You're gonna come off as a sucker. I'm just keep it 100 with you. You're gonna come off as a sucker.
The kids might get hurt in the end if you form a bond. If you form a bond with them, and then y'all don't work out. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, you don't want that to happen.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
It is what it is. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But yeah, I agree with you. I believe we on the same page on this one. A lot of women do have a kid or have kids by Mr. Wrong and then seek Mr. Right. And unfortunately, majority of them are not successful in getting married to Mr. Right once they bonded with Mr. Wrong and had kids by him. It generally doesn't work out, but it can. There are many who do walk away clean, depending on what other attributes they bring to the table. You know what I mean? You can still make it happen. There's still hope. But for the majority, when you have a baby by Mr. Wrong and go try to marry Mr. Right, things generally don't pan out well for you. You know? But with that being said, let's go ahead and segue. Next, is there a limit on when young adults should put the fun to the side and focus on building a family? Is there an age limit on when young adults should put all the fun aside and focus on building a family? What you got on that?
I think the sooner the better.
Okay.
If I could go back and do my life all over again, it'd be way different.
Okay.
I wasted. I can honestly say I wasted a lot of my early years. Just doing stupid shit, blowing money. Like a lot of people don't realize it, but most people touch in their lifetime, they touch well over $1 million.
Right.
The problem is you don't save it. I could say probably pretty sure without a doubt that I would be a millionaire right now if I would have if I would have just saved the money I was spending on stupid stuff. If I would have just saved it, I'd probably be a millionaire right now.
Oh wow, that's pretty good.
So I think the earlier the better. You want to put an age on it, I would say 25. You should have it figured out. Yeah, I think at 25 you should have it figured out. Well, maybe not figured out, but you should have all the partying and the bullshit out of your system. I say it's good to get it out of your system as soon as possible. But I know like some people had different lives growing up. Maybe you grew up in a small town, you didn't get a chance to do anything really. So yeah, that's why I say 25. Like maybe you went to college and the first year of college you did a bunch of partying. But I think by the time you finish your freshman year in college, all that partying should be out of your system. Like if you're gonna do it, if you're gonna do it, blow all the money, do all the party in your first year of college, get it all out the way, and then second year and so on, just focus on saving money and starting your career, getting your degree. So yeah, the sooner the better.
Sooner the better. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Man. Shout out to you. Yeah, I definitely would say 25 is a good age. Yeah, I say 25. You know, you get through college. You may play around a little bit for a couple of years after college, see what adulthood's all about. And yeah, then you should go ahead and start focusing on building your family. You know, find your husband, find your wife. You know what I'm saying? Around about, like I say, about 25 years old. You know, got your feet wet. And this don't mean that you can't have fun after that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But your main focus should primarily be building a family. Once you kind of done got all those the heebie-jeebies out and then got your partying out the way and all that wildlife, and maybe traveling with your homeboys or traveling with your homegirls or however they go. You know, again, yeah, about 25. I would say 25 is a great age for men and women to start getting serious. Now, as we say 25, what happens on the contrary, right? If you don't, what tends to happen is a lot of men and women wait too long, and their best years are behind them. Now, if that happens, you know, you're going to be left with some scraps. You're going to run into a lot of men and women who already have children, right? So then you're left to bond with them. Now you might be
Yeah.
a stepmom or a stepdad because as life goes on, we already know men and women are having sex and men and women are having children. So, the later you wait in life to bond with someone, your options may not necessarily get slim. They will get slim as far as finding men and women who don't have children yet. But you may
Right.
still have a plethora of options. But again, those options are going to be people who have different traumas, have been through different things, have kids, been through all types of situations, and got themselves in all types of debt. I mean, you're gonna run into all type of individuals, and you're gonna have to weed through some of the cobwebs, or whatever you want to call it. But you're gonna have to really, really search long and hard to find someone who would make a good person to bond with long term. It's just gonna be
See,
harder if you wait longer. Go ahead,
see, that's exactly the situation I'm
Damn,
in.
son, where'd you find this?
Like, I'm 38, and man, everybody my age has got 2 or 3 kids already.
Right.
A lot of
Mm-hmm.
them are married, or
Right.
like you said, they've been married and divorced a couple times. Like it, it's hard. Like when you get my age and probably your age too,
Right.
but I'd say more in your late 30s,
Yeah.
early 40s.
Right.
Man, it's really hard to find somebody that you can make it work with. So yeah, and then too, you wanna do it when you're younger. You want to start a family when you're younger because that's just a lot of work.
Yeah.
Like people forget that. Like actually having 2 or 3 kids and then starting to raise those kids and buying a house or finding a spot to live. You enter your career field. You start trying to move up in your career. That bro, that's I think people underestimate, especially when you're in your early 20s, late teens. You don't realize what you're about to go through when it
Right.
comes to that. So it takes a lot of energy, and it takes that energy that you got when you was younger. It takes
Yeah.
that type of energy. So the
Mm-hmm.
earlier the better, man.
Yeah. And I say this even from personal experience. I'm happily married now. Shout out to my wife. She's great. But when I was younger, uh, in high school, coming out of high school, um, those options, as far as the women in regards to like we talked about a minute ago, like not having kids and not going through traumas and not getting in debt in different ways and so on and so forth. Those options were top tier compared to any other point in my life. And I've always had a lot of options. But when
Right.
I was coming out of high school, the options I had then, those options were great. I mean, the women who I had to choose from, I mean, I couldn't go wrong. Either way, I would have went. Okay, this one. Like all of them was
Right.
good. Check marks, check marks. And they wound up doing well as they, got a little older. But that is when I had the best options. And I'm talking about
Yeah.
in regards to them not having kids yet and things like that. There's nothing wrong with the women who I bonded with after that. But at that point in time, again, the situations that they were in were the best
Right.
situations to bond and build a family with.
Yeah. To all the older women out there listening, it's not anything personal, really. Uh, it's just a lot of factors at play when you get up
Right.
in our age and you got kids. Like it's a whole nother beast or whatever. So
Uh,
it's not to say that you can't find somebody later and they work out good because it's possible. But like you said, it's a lot harder.
right, right, right. All right. So I think we agree right there at 25. We're gonna agree with that. All righty, let's go ahead and segue. Ice. Is marriage a business deal? Is marriage a business deal in this day and age?
I would say yes, but should it be? Not necessarily.
Okay.
Unfortunately, our society has turned it into a business.
Okay.
Um, it is as far as like the finances go and
Okay.
how y'all manage the finances. But I don't like calling it. I don't like saying that. That's the problem.
Right.
I don't like saying that because I don't think it should be that way. But
Okay.
unfortunately, it is. Like you got the money, you got the legal aspects,
Okay.
you got the negotiations and the contract, meaning the legal documents. Maybe you got a prenup or whatever. You got property. That's another legal aspect. It's
Okay.
so much. It's so much like a business.
Okay.
That's the problem. Um, so what was the question again? Is it a business? Is
Is it
that
a
what?
business? Yeah. Yeah. Is it a business deal? Yeah.
Man, yes. I would
Yeah.
have to say yes. I don't want to say it, but I got
Okay.
to. I mean, that's the way it is. What it is.
Okay. I got you. I got you. For me, I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say marriage is spiritual. I'm gonna say it's not. Now I understand. You know,
Yeah,
this could make an awesome debate. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Because you can make a lot of points on the other side. Because in this day and age, a lot of people have made it solely about business and how they're going to structure it and the financial side of it and the assets and things like
Well,
that.
that's part of the problem. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It's
Yeah,
part of the problem.
yeah. But I think that marriage is spiritual, and when I say that, my basis is this: God created marriage. You know, and we are not to redefine words. So what America has made it, um, that is not what God intended for it to be. Um,
Right.
and when you think of marriage from a general standpoint, when you go into a marriage, you think about marriage you done been in. I think about the marriages I done been in. And when you bond with that person, there's a spiritual connection. You know what I'm saying? Early on, at least, you know what I'm saying? There's a spiritual connection. You guys love each other. You guys are excited about doing life together. You guys have a lot of great intimate moments together. That is what marriage is. Now, of course, we have to do life, right? Which means that, children are going to be born. We got to figure out the best decisions for the kids, what schools they want to go to, what city we want to live in, what kind of house or neighborhood we want to live in. Also, you think about what kind of cars we're going to drive, what job or careers are we going to work, things of that nature. So I look at those things as doing life. You see what I'm saying? So you're gonna have to
Right.
do life. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to do life. But when we speak about marriage in itself, and not the things that are added to it, I say no, no, no. Marriage is spiritual. Just like if me and my wife, when we bump heads about something, I'm gonna feel a certain type of way. She's gonna feel a certain type of way, and it's gonna mess with our spirit. But within that has nothing to do with business. Now if there's a split or if we're trying to make decisions, you can add that component to it. But those components are there in life in general. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Those things don't just come into play because it's called marriage. Now, some things do. Don't get me wrong, because you bond as one, and now both of y'all name is on certain things. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But again, I don't look at marriage as business. But I've heard a lot of guys say it is, and not just regular guys. I mean, you got a lot of content creators actually making videos and talking about this thing. And I mean, these guys have thousands of viewers, millions of viewers, and they're agreeing as well. So that's why I would say that this would make for a great debate. So this is not a topic where I can just jump on and be like, I'm right, you're wrong. I could play that game, but again, depending on who I run into, that's going to be a big debate. You know what I'm
Nah, I
saying?
would
So,
say, I would say, I would say it this way. It's not. There are similarities
yeah,
between marriage and a business,
yeah,
but your mind state should not be looking at it as a business.
right.
So yeah, sure, there's similarities, and a lot of
Uh-huh.
times those similarities come into play when the relationship is over.
Okay.
Y'all going your separate ways. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I think if you go into it looking at it as a pure business, especially as a man, like let's say as a man, you've been dating this woman for a while,
Mm-hmm.
and you almost there, you almost convinced
Mm-hmm.
yourself to take that step and go ahead and marry her. But in your head, you thinking, okay, this is a business. I got to go into this as a business because I don't want to get hurt. Like I don't want
Right.
to get all my shit taken. If you going into it with that mindset, you already done failed. It's it's already over before you even said I do.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
so you gotta get your mind right. Don't look at it that way.
Yeah.
Um, I mean everything else is in God. I mean the whole y'all's getting a divorce and shit not going right. All that's in God's hands at the end of
Right.
the day. Anyways,
Uh-huh. Right.
because I don't care who you are, you could plan all you want. You could plan
Mm-hmm.
all day. In case I have to. That's part of my fault is
Uh-huh.
I like having a military mindset. I'm always thinking negative.
Okay.
I'm always thinking worst case scenario in my head. That's
Uh-huh.
that's what I do. But
Right.
but you can't look at it that way because it don't matter, especially marriage. It don't matter how much you plan. It, if it ain't gonna work, it ain't gonna work.
Okay. Okay.
So just go in. Don't look at it as a business. Don't look at
Okay.
it that way. Sure, there's similarities, yeah, but
It's
that's
not.
that's what I say about it. I don't know.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
I got you. I got you. Yeah, sound like we on the same page with that one. Sound like we on the same page with that one. We're saying it shouldn't be one. A lot of people look at it as one. Again, marriage is spiritual, but of course, there are other components, especially because two lives are joining. And I look at that as just life. When you have to make those financial decisions, things like that. That's just life in general.
So let me
Um,
ask you this question.
okay.
Do you know if a lot of those other influencers or YouTubers that are saying these things, are they married? Are they married themselves?
Yeah, a
A
lot
lot
of
of
them
them
are.
are.
Yeah.
Huh.
Hmm. Yeah, a lot of them are. Yep,
I
a
wonder
lot
if
of them are.
I wonder if they're in an open relationship,
Most of them are not. They're
open
not.
marriage.
And yeah, over marriage, not. And what happens is
Okay.
they get into that internet community, and you have a lot of creators who are, let's just say, not married, right? But a lot of the married guys, they rub elbows with the guys who are not married. So the so
Yeah,
you so the thing is, it's like they're trying to come to an agreement, kind of
yeah.
like
We
like you guys make this type of content, we make this, we're married, but we're a part of the gang too. So
yeah
you're
we
not
gonna
married. Go ahead.
we gonna stay tuned. We gonna keep following them, and
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah,
we gonna
that's
see where their marriage is in about
right.
5 or 6 years from now.
Oh man,
You make a note of it. We we gonna see where
right,
that
right.
marriage is.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Demetrius comes in saying that's how my mind works as well. And I'm prior service in the Army. But my old lady
Hey, was
looks at everything from a positive perspective. So she balances us out.
Damn, I didn't know he
Absolutely.
was in the Army. That's what's up.
Oh yeah. Shout out to you, man. Appreciate your service. But yeah, that's good. That she balances you guys out. She has that positive perspective. Yeah, I try to stay positive myself. But yeah, hey, shout out to you, big dog. Shout out to you. We all on the same page. But that being said, let's go ahead and segue. Let me ask you this, Ice.
Fuck.
Do men fear marriage? Do men fear marriage?
Hell yeah, they do.
Okay. Uh,
Most men.
okay.
It's like when your first child is born and you in the hospital room
Okay.
and that baby pokes its head out.
Uh-huh.
It was like you break out in a sweat. You almost pass out. You got to sit down for a second.
Uh-huh.
Um, I think yeah. And to see the problem is with the internet and social media and everything. I had to tell my son one time, not long ago, like a couple weeks ago. He was watching YouTube and
Okay.
he was watching videos of a little girl that had a medical condition and
Okay.
she was in a full body cast.
Okay.
So I had to explain to my son like just because you sick doesn't mean you gonna end up like this little girl.
Right.
So so a lot so a lot of guys nowadays they look at the social media and the YouTube and they see all this negative energy and stuff. So
Right.
it plays with your mind.
Yeah.
And you get nervous because you don't know what to expect. You listen to everybody else and all these bad thoughts are going through your head. So yeah, I think a lot of guys get scared. They get nervous when it comes to getting married.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Those fears, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. A lot of men fear marriage, and that's why you got a lot of guys speaking out against it. You know, we had that whole thing the other day where the guys saying, "Oh man, you ain't got to do all that to reap the benefits of marriage." But yeah, there are a lot of guys that fear marriage, and some of them do, rightfully so. I mean, you know, you think about alimony, spousal support. They fear losing. They fear getting their heart broken. They fear getting cheated on. They fear not being able to please a woman or please their woman one day. You know, they have all kind of fears. They fear, you know, the biggest thing is taking those financial L's. They fear a woman changing one day. You know what I'm saying? She start off this way and then she end up this way, and you know got married to her, and now you're afraid of losing half of everything if you go into the case of a divorce. Um, so yes, men absolutely fear marriage. But what I have to say about that is this: um, I don't believe in men walking in fear. No man should walk in fear. A man should be brave. A man should be stoic. A man should walk by faith and not by sight. Now, in walking by faith, it means you have a strong belief in God, and you're going to vet properly, and you're going to lay down your rules, your standards, all that thing at the forefront, your vision, lay all of that down at the forefront. Bond with a woman who's willing to follow your program. Remember, when it comes to the court system, because a lot of men are afraid of the court system, there's a calculation system when it comes to calculating alimony, spousal support, and all that good stuff. They're going to multiply what you guys make, right, individually with the length of the marriage. In most cases, if a marriage is less than 10 years, they are not going to grant her alimony or spousal support in most cases and in most states. Now, of course, if you guys have children and things like that, yeah, of course, child support is going to be on the table, but that's your child too. You got to take care of your child unless you get some type of
Right.
joint custody or something along those lines, or if you get custody. But when it comes to the court system, it's up to you to move wisely as a man. Within the first few years, you should be able to see where that marriage is going. You should be able to see what kind of character this woman has, her mentality, her attitude, her ways. You should be able to see these things within the first year. Majority of us are not marrying top-notch actresses, right? So these women should not be able to perform an act for multiple years without you seeing little glimpses of who she truly is. That should come out actually in no time. But it
Yeah.
also is based upon how you move as a man and what buttons you push to kind of see how she will react to certain things. You know what I'm saying? But that's a part of being a man. That's a part of being a husband. But a lot of men fear the court systems, and I don't think they should. I think that if you're a man and you don't know how to move within a marriage, you need to seek help. You need to seek coaching. You need to talk to men who have been there and done that. You need to get that extra guidance so you can see what direction you need to go in and how you need to move so you can see things coming before it actually blows up in your face. Right. So if more men did that, they would be able to act fast. And before it got to the courthouse, you would already be in a position, right? And not to mention, if you're a man and you have certain assets and things of that nature, there are prenuptial agreements. There are other ways you can protect yourself from losing this or losing that, in the case of a divorce, right? So you should definitely not fear that. But then again, if you having issues with women or problem knowing how to choose or problem with the court, seek help and guidance from someone or men who do know the game, know the ropes. Me, myself, I know the ropes. You can reach out to me if you're watching this, even if you're watching this on a replay. But there are things you can do as men to protect yourself. So you should not fear marriage.
Right.
Go ahead, big dog,
And I'll say this
Damn,
too.
son, where'd you find this?
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. I think men that are about to get married or thinking about getting married, one of the realest things my dad ever said to me was, I can't remember now because it was years ago, but me and my wife at the time was having a disagreement and we was getting into it. And my dad looked at me and said, Jason, she feels the same way you do. So as men, you gotta realize the woman feels the same way you do. She just as nervous as you is.
Right.
The only difference is y'all show it and express it in different ways. That's really what the root of a lot of arguments with couples comes down to. It comes down to the fact that y'all both are feeling the same way. You just expressing it in two different ways.
Okay.
So keep that in mind. If you about to get married, just remember and realize that she probably feel a lot of the same emotions that you feel.
Right.
But you just, again, I go back to life. You got to be willing to take the chance.
Yeah.
And I mean, when I was married for most of the marriage, I was happy. I was
Right.
happier than I ever been. But yeah, it sucks when the breakup comes and the divorce, but just think about it. You really think this one woman is gonna destroy you as a man?
Mm-hmm.
How many times has somebody played you? How many times has somebody took advantage of you as a man? It ain't 9 times out of 10, if we're being honest with ourselves, it ain't the woman. It ain't the woman that was the sole reason you took an L. You've been taking L's your whole life. I mean,
man.
you might be,
Damn,
you might
son,
have
where'd you find this?
even the most successful people have taken L's
Yeah.
at some point. So don't put it all on the woman and say, well, I can't do it because what if we get divorced and she take half my stuff? Okay,
Right.
what about that homeboy that you sent some money to and he ran off with your money?
Right.
You know,
Yeah. Matter
ain't
of
no
fact.
different, man. You gotta take a chance. You take a L, you take a L. That's what
Mhm.
makes a man. That's what the difference is between a man and a boy. A man can take the L and be okay. A boy gonna
Mhm.
take a L and fold and run back to his mama and cry.
Right.
So
Exactly. Yeah, you did on it, man. You spot on, big dog. You spot on, big dog. Yeah, that's it. So, men, please don't fear marriage. Marriage is a beautiful thing. Marriage is a great thing. When you bond with the right person, it can be the most beautiful thing ever. But again, you have to vet properly and you have to strive to become the best version of yourself. It starts with you looking in the mirror. You have to strive to become the best version of yourself. And any women watching, please become the best version of yourself as well. And learn how to respect a man. Learn how to follow a man's lead. Kill the attitude. Kill the masculine energy. Please bond with a man who you're willing to submit to. Bond with a man whose program you're willing to follow and be a part of. Men, you should not fear marriage again. If you run into women who don't believe in what a husband is, meaning a husband is a leader, provider, protector, if you're with a woman or if you bond with a woman, or matter of fact, don't bond with a woman who doesn't believe in what a husband is, right? If she ain't gonna
yeah.
let you lead, don't bond with her. Don't even do it, man. Don't waste your time.
And
Don't waste your
there's a
time.
lot of those women out there that don't see no value in a man. And they ain't hard to find. They out there.
Right.
They everywhere. You go on
Yeah.
Facebook right now and see 100 women that you know without a doubt would not make a wife. It ain't it ain't hard to tell. So don't be a sucker
Right.
just because she laid it down and gave it up to you
Right.
one night. Don't be a sucker.
Right.
Look, look at her for who she is as a person.
Right. Exactly. You ain't gotta stay focused. Stay focused. It's a beautiful
Yep.
thing, guys. Don't fear it. Don't fear it. Just get out of there. Hey, if you see something, hey, within those first couple of years, first few years, get up out of there. I believe in divorce. I believe in divorce. Do not run yourself in the ground. Do not allow a woman to run you in the ground. Before you end it, hey, you might need to seek wise counsel. You might need some coaching, but do not stay in the hellhole and ruin your life. You should not fear it. Vet properly and do what you got to do as a man, and
Yeah,
going in the
because
right direction.
like you said, if you ain't been married for 10 years or more, you ain't really gonna take no L anyways.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the courts ain't as against men as they used to be. It ain't so much that way anymore.
Right.
Like I said in the past, like I said before, there's a lot of men out there that could get full custody of their kids if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Like it ain't like that.
Right. It is what it is. It is what it is. Men, step up. Step up.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jessica. What's going on? We appreciate you for tapping in. She says sometimes it's the man. What's the man? It's the man
Yeah.
that's causing problems. It's the man who causes divorce. Well, elaborate on that for us. Shout out to you for tapping in too. Shout out to you for tapping in. And before you answer that, we're gonna go ahead and segue. Ice. The
Yeah.
last question for this episode, in which we probably just answered it, but I'm gonna ask this question.
All
In
right.
your opinion, has marriage in America been destroyed by the government? Has marriage in America been destroyed by the government.
Man, we could have a 3 hour conversation about this government. And yeah, I think so. And not only that, it's destroyed a lot of things.
Okay.
But yeah, definitely, it's destroyed marriages, it's destroyed families,
Okay.
it's destroyed relationships. Um, Not saying I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not saying that it's all by design,
Okay.
but every reaction has a consequence or
Right.
has a reaction.
Right.
So a lot of times, they pass laws, they pass laws and they do things to fix a certain problem, but then that causes other problems. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So yeah, absolutely. Like I said before, I pretty much answered the question. They got marriage set up like a business, but
Okay.
it really shouldn't. It shouldn't be that, and you shouldn't look at it that way either.
Right.
Um, what else? Yeah, and then even like down to the tax system,
Yeah.
how there's benefits and non-benefits to being married versus being single. Um,
Okay.
I can keep going.
Yeah. I'm with you.
This could be a whole
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
By the end of this, I done
Right.
convinced the whole country that I'm right. I'm
With the
telling you.
government. Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Yeah. Yeah, man. Well, before I say I agree, I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna
I
say
think so.
I'm gonna say no. The
I know.
government,
I already know where you're going.
yeah, I'm gonna say no. The government has not destroyed marriage, although we could argue what's fair, what's not fair. I get that. I don't have much pushback on the fairness of the system, but I think that there are ways men can protect themselves in marriage. Like I mentioned earlier, if you're trying to protect, if you come in with a lot of money or assets, things of that nature, you have prenuptial agreements. Now, some of those things can have loopholes in them, but that comes to you, bonding with certain lawyers and kind of just doing your homework, if you will.
Right.
And then there are other ways to protect your assets and your money. Um, Also, another thing, just like we said, when it comes to spousal support and alimony, there's a calculation system. So they're looking at the length of the marriage. They're looking at what he makes, what she makes, so on and so forth. So you got to move wisely in those regards. Also, even when it comes to children, you got to be mindful with who you have children with. But that's a decision that you make. No one can force you to lay down and have kids with someone. That's on you. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these things can be prevented. And you're listening to a man who has been through 2 divorces, and I didn't lose a dime to those women. You know what I'm saying? I didn't lose a dime. Um, but that's because of the way I moved, in those situations. But
Yeah.
in the first wife, she loaded a docket. She put spousal support on there. She put alimony on there. She put everything she could on that docket. But guess what? It didn't work. You know what I'm saying? No weapon formed against me has prevailed. But you know,
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Yeah.
so
No, I do agree with that. Like ultimately, I mean, the government can make things difficult. They can influence people's decisions to a certain extent, but ultimately, it comes down to you.
right,
Like you make your own decisions. You in charge. I mean, so
hmm
you can't just blame it all on the government.
right, right, and that's all I'm saying, man. The system could be better. I agree with that. The system could be better, but I'm not gonna flat out sit here and say Oh man, yeah, man. The government, you know, hey man, they
Yeah,
ruin marriage, man. They ruin marriage. No, because hey, a lot of the power's in your hands. A lot of the
right.
power's in your hands with who you choose to bond with, and the decisions you decide to make within that marriage. You know, that's on you. You know, so nah, I don't blame the government. Now, if you get caught up in that system now, and you leave it up to them, yeah, you probably gonna get burned and roughened up a little bit. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
gonna happen. Yeah, if you put it in their hands, yeah, that's your butt. You know, that's your
yeah, that's
butt if
what
you put it in their hands.
I
You know.
yeah, I'm big on that. I went through it myself. I did get the system involved to a certain extent.
Hmm.
I mean, we ultimately settled everything outside of court, but
Okay.
I highly recommend that you leave the courts out of it,
Right.
if any way possible.
Right. Yeah. I'm with you on that 100%. Yeah. So I think we can see eye to eye on that.
Yeah.
Shout out for everybody tapping in the Beast Talk. Shout out to everybody tapping in the Beast Talk. If you're watching this live, if you got anything you want to say before we tap out, go ahead and drop it in the comment section and we will address it. You know, anything in closing on that last topic, guys?
Um. No, I think I was trying to figure out what Jessica Young was talking about. She never did say,
Yeah, she said
but
sometimes it's the man, but yeah, I think she was saying as far as problems within the marriage. And
yeah, I mean for sure. A lot
mhm,
of times I say, well, let me ask you this, Maury.
mhm, okay.
Would you say most of the time, if you just look at all the cases, would you say the majority of them it was the man or it was the woman in a relationship that ruined it?
It's gonna be 50-50. Yeah, I can't. It's no way to pinpoint it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I mean,
There's no way to pinpoint it because it's all types
yeah,
of things. Now, women lead in filing for divorce. They say 70% of divorces were filed by women. But even
okay,
with that, you know, it could be the woman not being happy. It could be he already out here cheating, so she just happened to be the one to go ahead and file. You know, it's a lot of different things. You know,
yeah. I
um,
mean, I think, yeah, I mean, yeah. Don't get us wrong. With a lot of times, I say, at least 50% of the time, it is the man.
okay,
And then a lot of times in that situation, you know, I question were they even really a man? Were they
okay.
a leader? A lot of times they
Hmm.
wasn't a leader. But yeah, definitely not all on the women for sure.
Yeah. We ain't gonna put it all on the women. No, it be both, man. It be both. It's really hard to really decipher it, man.
Yeah.
You know, but it is what it is. But that's gonna wrap up another episode of Beast Talk. Uh, if any moment during this video you like what you're hearing, go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and hit that comment box. Let us know what's on your mind. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe. If you're watching this on Facebook, go ahead and hit that follow. Go ahead and add me. Add Ice if you can find them. We appreciate you for watching. Remember to share this with your family and friends because we don't want to be successful by ourselves. And remember to keep God first. Keep God first. He will make your paths straight. He will make your path straight. Anything in closing, big dog?
Nah, just be willing to take that chance. If you really serious about somebody, be willing to take that chance. But also be willing to cut it off if you know it ain't gonna work. Don't make that mistake and just live a miserable life with somebody.
Right.
Um,
There you go.
only fear God.
There
If
you
you a
go.
man, if you a man, only fear God.
That's it.
Um, and just remember, she got the same fear that you got.
Right. That's
A
it.
lot of times we don't realize that as men. But
Yeah.
other than that, that's all I got.
Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Without further ado, we appreciate you for watching. Again, we love you all. Y'all be blessed and catch us next time on Beast Talk.